This video was brought to you by Plain and Simple Chocolate Tea from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy.
The weather outside is frightful. A cup of chocolate tea is so delightful.
Made from the husks of roasted cacao beans, it has a chocolatey aroma, yet tastes like an herbal tea. This beverage is rich in mood-enhancing theobromine, the perfect replacement or addition to your morning cup of coffee. You can find it at offgridwithdougandstacy.com.
Plain and simple chocolate tea makes me happy.
Now back to the video.
All right, I guess we'll start this story off here at the woodlot. All right, so if you guys are new around here, most of you guys probably aren't, but my wife and I, we live in a log cabin that we built ourselves out of logs from the forest. And I did that with no experience or anything. And we've been living off grid for about a decade now. And we live 100% off rainwater, and we grow all of our own food, mostly over 90%. And you know, we heat with wood, and we have been for the whole time, over 12 years. And it has never been a problem. I haven't never had any issues with heating with wood. So we're rolling into winter. You know, I've got my store set up for winter, and you know, I'm going to start this firewood business. You guys, if you've been along with this channel for a little bit, I talked about it. I started assembling our tools last year before I knew some inflation was coming, and I knew some other things were going to be happening. So what I wanted to do was get a lot of my tools in place last year and the year before, for sure last year. And I wanted to do that because I just had this feeling like prices were going to go up on stuff, and you know, I did pretty good with my assumptions. And so I assembled a lot of my materials and big ticket items and stuff that I wanted to get so I could have a very successful firewood business. Because that's how I make money, you know, on the homestead here, is selling firewood. And I mean, it has never been our 100% way to make money on our homestead, but I'm focusing on it to become a 100% way that we can make money on the homestead. And if you guys remember, if you've been around here for a while, you know, I retired in my 40s. Basically, I didn't care if I had to live off a couple $100 a month or whatever. And Stacy continued to work up until 2020, right? So now she's at home all the time. And so I wanted to make sure that, you know, that we could step up making money for the homestead without any social media junk. And you know, just to make sure we'll be able to take care of ourselves. So I really focused in on the firewood business. I like doing the firewood. I've always enjoyed doing the firewood. I like to cut it and split it. I like handling it. I'm like making bowls with wood, and all this stuff's coming up. So I like it, and some guys do, I guess. All right, so I was just watching some tubes and farting around on the internet, and I ran across a fellow that I watch, the Morgans, and he was talking about how they got their little fire pit. They kind of designed it after ours, or whatever. I mean, it just happens to be that way. And you know, he was talking about filling up his fire pit with his firewood logs, you know, getting his stuff split, and how long would it take, you know, it's like a thing, you know, we're gonna see. And I told Stacy, I said, man, they're doing that. I said, we haven't been in the woodlot all year, basically, because we've been building my mom a log cabin on our back part of our 11 acres here. We moved her out of the city and built her that log cabin that you saw in the beginning there. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get on it. You know, I didn't do much cutting last year, and I got all these nice logs ready to go, and you know, my ribs are feeling good, and you know, where mom's is pretty complete, and I got to get caught up on some wood here. People are wanting to buy wood. And so I started, you know, cutting the wood and everything. Then my son-in-law calls now. If you guys are, this is a talkie video. If you guys are new around here also, and are maybe you're long-time subscriber and you don't know, but my daughter and son-in-law bought a 20-acre Amish farm right around the corner there, and it has a wood stove in it. So it'll be their first year of heating with wood, you know, and cooking with wood and everything. So he calls me up and he says, yeah, hey, Pops, I'm tired of buying these $6 bundles at the grocery store. And I couldn't even believe he was buying them there. And he said he wanted to get some wood for his house. You know, he's like, well, how much wood do you think I'd need there? And I said, well, are you going to heat exclusively with it? Because they're going on grid. He works for a major card company. He has to have internet access and all that stuff. And so I wasn't sure how they were actually going to work it. And he says, yeah, we're going to heat 100% with that, and we're going to cook with the wood and everything. You know, and I said, all right. I said, well, how much do you think you need? Well, he doesn't have any idea. And I was just kind of, I don't know, just throwing it out there for him to answer. And it's a big 2-story Amish house, right? And he says, well, I don't know, what do you think, a cord of wood or maybe half a cord? Oh my gosh, I busted a gut so hard. That's probably what messed my hand up. I was out of focus. I said, no, buddy, you're probably gonna need like 5 or 6, 7 of those cords, full cords, over at your place for the whole winter. So I said I'd go ahead and get them some together, and you know, I was out here, I was cutting up the wood for them and everything, and I got them a cord put together, and I had a pile already too from last year. So I basically just was doing that and trying to, you know, do something, keeping up with the Morgans. And I finished it up, and I took it over to him, and we dropped off his first load, and I came back. It was probably about 4 o'clock or something, you know, and there was like 3 or 4 more rounds on the ground, and I wanted to pick them up, and I was just like, well, I'm gonna finish these last couple on the ground here. And I picked up one, and I split it, and then this is where it gets kind of hazy, because I picked up a log, and I don't remember if I slammed, you know, if I dropped it on my hand in between the two, or if I had already put the plunger in motion, and I got in between two, because I think I was trying to re-split a log that was too fat, right? Sometimes you get those. And I think I picked it up to put it, you know, position it, if you will, which is a no-no. It's a pinch area. You don't ever put your hands in there. But I do it. I mean, you guys do it too. Don't say you don't. And sure as the long as day as rain as whatever you want to say, it got me, man. It sucked my fingers right into it. So immediately, though, I stopped everything. It was really fast, right? So luckily, I was paying attention enough, right? So there's accidents that happen because you're just not paying attention. But this is just an accident. But if I was paying attention less, I think I really could have got messed up. So I felt it right away. I got it turned off the machine. I threw the glove off my hand right away. I was thinking about if it was pressed into my skin, and if my fingers and everything would swell, I wouldn't be able to get my glove off. Oh, it was something else. Here, I'll show you a picture of when I first showed up at the emergency room. Well, the first place I went to, like in town there, they have like this little, you know, a lot of these towns are popping up with these little emergency care places, you know. So I went to the emergency care place, you know, and it was right at like, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something by then, 6:30 or 6, maybe it was 6. Maybe they closed at 6. And it was a Sunday night. I remember that. And so I went in there, you know, I had my hand all wrapped up with the bandage and everything, and I'm like, do you fix stuff? And she goes, ooh, I don't know, what kind of stuff? And I said, this. And she goes, oh, that's a little bit out of our fixing wheelhouse. You're gonna have to keep going, you know, down the road there. So I went down into the emergency room, and it was real nice in there. Walked right in, no problems, no mask, no nonsense. And anyways, I got right in, and the doctor was real cool, and he did a real good job, actually. Putting me back together with these stitches. I got 20 stitches on 2 fingers, and I broke the tip of the index finger. Now, the reason why I haven't told you guys what was going on with my hand faster is because I was really, you know, I was kind of worried I was going to lose part of my index finger, man. So I didn't want to tell you guys about it and then have to go through all this drama. I wanted to, if I was going to lose it, I was going to have them do it, and then I was going to tell you the whole story. So the tip of the index finger broke right on the tip, like basically right behind your fingernail, you know, all the way to the front, and it broke it. Oh man. So Doc sews me up real good, actually. Real good, man. He's shoving them needles in there, and oh my gosh. So he sews me up real good, but the problem is my index finger is pretty swollen because it broke, and it looks pretty bad, right? So he, you know, stitches that up best as he can, and he puts me in one of those finger splint deals and sends me off, says tomorrow you got to go see the orthopedic dude, you know. So I make an appointment, I go back to the orthopedic dude. I think that was Tuesday, so that was like 2 days later I go to the orthopedic dude. And so as soon as I walk into the orthopedic dude, he's like looking at my fingers and he goes, man, who put this together, like wrapped it up? Not who stitched it, but like who wrapped it up. And I said, well, that was downstairs. And he goes, ah. So he takes all that stuff off and he says, I want to lock it up, right? No movement, lock it up. And so they put me on like this, I'm going to show you. They put me on like this half cast where it's locking my wrist up. Now, all this is going on and I have to leave for Layman's. We have a speaking gig at Layman's coming up. You guys might have seen that video. If you haven't, I'll leave a link for it right here. It's a really good video. It's a super cool store and really caters to our lifestyle. And so, you know, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I got this thing coming up. And so he puts me back together. It's a big knot on the end of my index finger, right? Then I go to the orthopedic guy. The orthopedic guy puts like this wet cast on or something, you know, it's like really stiffens up, makes my hand real stiff, and he lassos these two fingers together. You know, there's no move in this stuff, you know, so I'm all locked up. I go out to the Layman's, I meet you guys, everybody's, what happened, what happened, what happened? And then I do, you know, it's just touching really how you guys care about us so much, and I do, it's just very heartwarming, especially in today's conditions. so then it's, you know, bi-weekly. I have to come back every Tuesday. He's, you know, the following Tuesday he takes out the stitches on my middle finger. Okay, here, I'll show you. Now my middle finger here, it's doing pretty good, right? You can see right there it's already scabbing over. We got the stitches out. Okay, it looks pretty good, really. The problem here is I can't bend it. You know, that's about as far as I can bend it right now. It's going to take some time. This skin right here is real tight still, so there's still some swelling in there with my bones and my tissues and stuff. But actually that looks really good for 3 weeks. And I'm just doing exercises every day. And then Stacy's going to have a video coming out pretty soon about ghee. I've been rubbing the ghee on there. She's got so much good stuff for you guys, information. You know, we just do all this studying and learning and sharing for free on YouTube about ways you guys can live healthy and get off the system and be a healthier you and live a better life and all that stuff. And it's legit, man. We've been out here for 12 years. I've never felt better, and I'm only getting older. Most people feel worse as they get older. And I'm 54 now, and I'm feeling like I'm 22, but I got to stop these injuries. So after the first week, he took these stitches out. Oh, he says, that is really looking good. Really looking good. He says that one's not so looking good, right? Now also, first off, they put me on some low-dose antibiotics. When he takes the stitches out of this finger, they put me on some high-dose antibiotics. And we're also going to do a video follow-up on this, right? When y'all take antibiotics, it destroys your gut health. Just destroy. I could feel it destroying my gut health. I was telling Stacy, I am telling you, I feel it literally destroying my gut health. I have this pristine, nice gut health, right? So I had that to deal with too. And Stacy's going to do a video with you guys about how to recover from high-dose antibiotics, because it's very important that you do that. You are going to be destroyed, all the good bacteria. It's antibiotic. It doesn't just go after bad bacteria, it goes after all bacteria. Okay, so it's very important you guys get your guts back in check after you take high-dose antibiotics, or any at all, really. So he's, you know, looking at this thing, he's like, I don't know. So then he wraps me up in another wrap with just this hand here, just this finger. This one, he says, you're free to do whatever you want. You can, you know, move it around, you know, massage it, you know. So that's what we've been doing lately. We've been rubbing it with the ghee, breaking up the scar area, doing as much as I can handle, and then I'm trying to move it and exercise it, okay? This one, another week. I go back last Tuesday, not the Tuesday we just had, last Tuesday. He looks at it, he's like, ooh, man, all right, so we're going to take out the stitches. He left those stitches in another week. And he told me before I left, and he said before you come back next time, he said, when you come back next week, you know, expect some pain. Kind of got me worried, actually, when he told me that. And I'm in a lot of pain already, right? Because all your nerve endings are right here on the end of your finger, okay? All right, so I go back, and he takes out, he said, I'm going in, man, you know. I said, okay, I'm sitting up. You know, they have those tables you lay down on in there, and I'm sitting on the table, right? You know, on the table like this, and I have my hand down in the dish, like this. He puts it in some peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, because what happens is when you soak it in hydrogen peroxide, if you do stitches at home, or if for references for you, the hydrogen peroxide bubbles up and softens all the scab and all the blood that's dried up and everything, and it just kind of dissolves off and falls off. It was kind of slick. So I'm doing that whole soaking thing. He pulls it out. He's like, yeah, it's starting to look pretty good. There was a little pus coming out of it. That's why he put me on more antibiotics. He's like, yeah, the pus is looking good. This is healing up and sealing up real nice. It really looks like hamburger here. I'll show you guys, but I'm probably not going to show you right now. And he's like, yeah, this is pretty good. You've seen a couple pictures already, but it looks worse than after they stitched it up and after that one, because it kept oozing and it was just messy. So we're going to take the stitches out today, Doug. All right, so let's do it. So he takes the one out. Ooh, it hurts. This finger was not too bad. This finger really is hurting, right? So he takes the one out. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. He takes another one out. Ooh, man. I'm like, all right. He gets another one. That wasn't too bad. And then I told him, I said, I'm kind of getting hot. It's getting kind of hot in here. That was it. The next thing I know, right, I kind of look out of my eyes, because I'm out, right? I blacked out on him. I'm on the table, but I kind of see, I open my eyes while I'm blacking out, right? And I just remember like seeing the floor and us scuffling over there. You know how they keep a little chair next to the table? So he's like a littler guy. Most people are littler than me, but he's a littler guy than me, and he's trying to manage me, right, while I'm blacking out, and to put me in the chair. Right? And he's yelling because he's only in there by himself, and the nurses and stuff, or the assistants or whatever, that he's got a couple kids running around, and they're not hearing him, and he's going, hey, hey, and I can't really hear it because I'm blacking out, but I hear a couple of these, hey, hey, and then I come out of it, right? I'm sitting down now, and I come out of it, and my hands on the table, and I'm coming out of it, and Doc is right in my face with those. He's got those little bitty glass things on, like jeweler's eyes, so he can see the stitches. And he's looking at me, and he's got that look in his eyes, and man, I woke up to that, and I was like, oh wow. And you can hear him yelling, and I was like, oh man. He goes, you all right? You with me, you baby? I was like, I told you I was getting hot. I just went out. Oh my gosh, those people I got them in trouble. He says, man, you guys, there's no wall thing. I gotta yell and everything. Don't you hear me yelling for you guys? And they're like, no, we didn't hear you. And then they got in trouble. I'll tell you how I know as the story goes on. So yeah, straight up blacked out in there. That was crazy. So I guess it's just your body, just trying to protect you. That's what it does. And then that was it. So he got the rest of the stitches out and says it's looking real good, but he had to wrap it back up, and then I had to go back this last Tuesday, okay? And that's how I'm going to tell you how now I know they got in trouble. So I go back this next Tuesday, this couple days ago Tuesday, and Doc never showed up. He comes, he has like his main practice in St. Louis area, another practice in like St. Charles County area, and then he comes up to these country hospital. A lot of these doctors do this, and it's like, pro bono work, or, just kind of giving back to the community, because people in the rural areas tend to be a little poorer, I guess you'd say, and so they do a little more of the charity type of work. I actually thanked him for coming up and taking care of us poor folk. And he was a nice guy, and but he didn't make it to our appointment last Tuesday. I guess he got boogered up with a surgery, or the traffic or something, but they had to reschedule. And while I was in the waiting room of the place over there, Roy was in there, our concrete guy, because his wife had some surgery on her shoulder. And we were talking and everything, so I unwrapped my whole deal before I found out the doctor wasn't coming. And so they had to take me in the back there and re-wrap it up and everything. So this how I know they got in trouble, because when I was in the doctor's office and he was by himself, he was upset because he was by himself. He said, it's a big guy, I'm by myself. There should be somebody in this room with me when I see this guy, right? So when I come in, they're like, okay, come on in the back, Doug. We're going to clean that up for you till next week. And so when I walk in the room, there was two of them right on me, like, shoot. I said, don't worry, it's okay. I said, I'm not going to pass out this week. I'll be fine, everything's fine. Yeah, and they had the doc was yelling at him because they were bringing like 2-inch gauze and he only needed 1-inch gauze, you know, just stuff like that. And so when they came this time, they had the 1-inch everything and everything was perfect. So I know he gave him a big talking to after I left there. Oh my gosh, so that's where I'm at with this thing, man. I didn't lose my tip of my finger. It is busted, but it is gonna mend very nice, actually. I'm a little hamburgery here on this side over here, and I'm gonna show you guys after this gets taken off, right? So, all's good. So 12 years of living off-grid and homesteading, no insurance whatsoever, right? And this has been the 2 major accidents that we've had, that I've had, because I've been really busy this year here. Normally I'm, you know, just kind of doing my pace and everything's fine, but we've been building Mom's house and, you know, it's just been a busy year. And both accidents happened up here. They didn't even happen at Mom's house. That's another funny thing about it. But we have had no insurance and we have not needed any, right? So just think about 12 years of paying every single month $1,000 or $800. I mean, look how much money we've saved. Okay, and from my experience, and this is just my experience, and I still am a believer in this, I think most accidents that you're going to have, if you're going to have them on the homestead, are going to be breaks and stitches, right? Cuts. So breaks and cuts are pretty affordable. You know, usually you can afford to pay that stuff, and they'll put you on a payment plan and all that stuff, right? So that's been our philosophy the whole time. We've never had primary care physicians. We don't go to the doctor. We don't get sick. We have that in our mind that we don't get sick. We say that to ourselves, we don't get sick, right? We eat healthy, we're outside a lot. You know, we're doing the probiotics, we're doing the kefir, the fermenting the food, we're eating food right off the vine. All this stuff helps us to stay vital. You see, we have a lot of energy. I'm 54, Stacy's almost 60. You know, we're up here, we're fully active and doing this lifestyle. We don't have kids doing all of our stuff for us, right? So you can live a healthy, happy lifestyle. You don't necessarily have to have insurance. You know, I was looking it up. Health insurance in our country, especially through an employer, heck, I mean, a serious one is probably, you know, they're about 100 or 80 years old or 50 years old. It's not even that old. All this time we've been living our lives without this pharmacia, you know, and this insurance and all this stuff. So that's our philosophy. You guys have to do with it, you know, do your own philosophies. But that's what's been going on. I can't do any more. Okay, so why can't I do anything? Why can't you do anything, Doug? You just stood here for 30 minutes yakking my brains out. All right, what happens is, let me come over here and get a little closer. This finger right here, this is where the tip of all your nerves, everything is going here, 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 here. And the heart pumps and the blood goes. So whenever I get super active, if I get busy doing something, my heart starts pumping up. And this thing hurts. I'm telling you, just talking and hanging out right now, it just feels like the tip of this finger is on fire. It's real tingly, and that's a good thing. That means all my nerves are waking up. You know what I'm saying? So that is a good thing. I would not be happy if this was just some dull, painful feeling. You know what I mean? So I have good feeling here. Everything's coming back. Whew. All right. But I'm on the disabled list, so I got some stuff I got to do. I can kind of tidy up on. Stacy's got some videos coming up, so you guys can enjoy those. If you didn't watch that chicken video, I don't know why you guys aren't watching our homestead videos that much. There's a lot of great information in there. Aren't you guys growing chickens and eggs, and or maybe starting it, and you want to get some good tips and tricks? A lot of good tips and tricks in there. We get eggs all winter long, and you don't have to have heat lamps, and you don't have to turn on lights and fake them out and mess up their natural egg laying cycle, right? So make sure you check that video out. Otherwise, I caught you guys up to date on the story of my hand. I don't know. You guys are going to say accident prone and this and that and all that, and I hear you. 12 years, it's only been 2 accidents, and I'm pretty much, that's it. So there's no more accidents going forward. And accidents do happen, y'all. And you have to, let me just say this too, this is our philosophy about the insurance. You guys have to do your own risk management, okay? Unlike today's common or permanent mindset, it's not one size fits all, okay? You have to do what's right for you, no matter what. It's not everybody. You don't do what's right for everybody. You can't possibly do what's right for everybody. You have to do what's right for you. And if everybody does what's right for them with the intention to make a good society, all of it will work out. See how that works? That's how it always is. That's why we have individual freedoms. And that's why our country was founded on that stuff. See you guys on the next video. Thanks for caring about me, because I do appreciate that. I've got a ton of emails and questions and people wanting to know. And now I've caught you guys up. I don't even know what to say about it, really. Alright, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, hopefully you guys got a little bit off of it, and you know, just you got to do what's right for you. If you want to get insurance, get some insurance. You know, if you feel like that's really something that's going to be important for you, you have to do that, right? For us, it's not important for us. Okay, I'll pay those bills, and actually, what I'll do is I'll negotiate the hell out of them, and I'll get them super cheap, right? And that's how they do it. So you just pay cash, negotiate your bills. This is going to be, you know, the ribs, all I did was go to the chiropractor. It cost me 120 bucks, and then I just sat around for months, right? This is going to be more expensive because I had to go get the stitches. I had to go see the guy a couple times. So that's going to be a little bit more. X-rays. X-rays are going to be way more at the hospital than they were at the chiropractor. So there's your tip. If you missed the video where I broke my ribs, if you guys get into a jam up, normally you can just find a local chiropractor and he can do your X-rays for you right there on the spot. 100 bucks or so. A lot cheaper than going to the doctor. So, all right, I got to get busy. So I'm busy laying on the couch. I'll see you guys on the next video. And hit that like button on the way out. Makes me feel good.
This video was brought to you by Plain and Simple Chocolate Tea from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy.
The weather outside is frightful. A cup of chocolate tea is so delightful.
Made from the husks of roasted cacao beans, it has a chocolatey aroma, yet tastes like an herbal tea. This beverage is rich in mood-enhancing theobromine, the perfect replacement or addition to your morning cup of coffee. You can find it at offgridwithdugandstacy.com.